Welcome in to the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up. The line's wrapped around the stadium. Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show.
All right, welcome in to a Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. I'm Jordy Culotta. Good to see you. Got a great day here. We're brought to you every day, just like every day, at Go Chevrolet. Friends down at Go Chevrolet, GEAUX Chevrolet.com. For real though, I'm Coach Kyle Caskey. If you don't know who I am the Jay Leno to Jordy's Johnny Carson. So. I'm gonna pass this off over here to my esteemed co-host.
Is
that good?
You opened it
Sweet.
up. It is Friday. It's Ole Miss Hate Week still. ETHOM.
Here she goes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we should give her a
I
platform.
really kind of thought about, today, if we didn't have Coach Kyle as our guest host, just opening the phone lines and letting everybody call in and tell everyone why you hate Ole Miss.
We can still do that.
Yeah,
That
we
would have
can.
been just the best show to me.
I
That
mean,
made me feel so good.
Oh yeah, your hate for Ole Miss is like
Runs
it trumps
deep. It
all.
runs deep.
This is
Runs
just weird.
Deep,
Yeah.
deep in my
It's kind of
brain.
strange.
It's like a coach
It is
though.
not
You
weird.
got you
It's
gotta
a rivalry.
you gotta hate losing more than you like winning.
Yeah.
And Katie hates Ole Miss more than she likes Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
where
guess.
yeah.
Right now.
That's a
you're right.
rivalry.
Mississippi State did lose last week. I thought they won.
Did
remember.
when
Tough
you
week.
when you grew up in
I remember.
Mississippi, did they teach you you're either a Mississippi State fan or an Ole Miss fan?
No, they didn't teach that, but my mom went to Ole Miss, my dad went to Mississippi State, and somehow,
Oh.
I don't know what happened.
You said your mom went to Mississippi State?
No, my mom went to Ole Miss.
Oh,
my
that's-
dad went to Mississippi
Dad,
State.
daddy's
My
daddy's
brother
girl,
went to Mississippi State.
daddy's issues.
We just spent more time in Starkville for some
Oh.
reason. My parents lived there too, like before I was born, so we spent more time there. But no, the state is pretty much divided in half.
It's like the
though.
Capulets and Montagues.
It is
That's
like
you,
that.
Romeo and Juliet
like
for
that.
the uninformed.
So I grew up in Texas, and literally the thing people ask you as a kid, they say you a Aggie or Longhorn, and I was an Aggie. My dad played A&M, so I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you were born into the cold.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
And I went to Midnight Yell before it was a cool thing to go to.
It's never been cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it's cool.
You might have gone when it was cool to go.
I will say this again. 1 or 2 people acting a fool at that one that got videotaped and put on ESPN. All right, now there's a bunch of fools there. Don't get me wrong. That's a fun thing. If you ever get a chance, they turn the lights off at the end of yell practice, and you get to make out with the person you came with. So if you don't have a date, you bring a lighter and you turn the lighter on. You hold the lighter up, and you just hope somebody else, like some other girl, has a lighter or something, and you go over there, you start making out with her. There was some people were bringing blow torches in there.
That sounds bad. Yeah,
that's desperation right there.
So if you don't have a date, you have to bring a lighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It worked.
Y'all are
It worked for
It
worked for me once.
Y'all
yeah.
are different.
This is.
over there.
What if you go with your girlfriend and bring a lighter?
This was later
True.
in my college days.
player
when-
What does that mean?
What's
Gotta
that?
have
That's like a threesome situation.
Exactly. That's what I'm
right?
saying. If you have a girlfriend, you both bring lighters. Hold them.
Oh,
up.
then you're just
Yeah.
swingers.
Swinger situation.
You just bring your upside down pineapple with you.
That's what I was about to say. It's like I just learned about that recently.
Wait, what? What is this?
If you swing, apparently you put an upside down pineapple outside your house.
Uh-huh.
Like
And
by
not
your
like a
front door or
literal
something.
pineapple.
It's like they
Decorum.
But you can also walk around in Cincinnati. There was a thing. If you put any kind of melon in your cart at Kroger of Hyde Park, and you walked around on Thursday with a melon in your cart in your buggy, you would that was saying, hey, I'm looking for somebody.
I'm free this
say buggy
weekend.
too. That's a Mississippi thing.
Well, no,
You say buggy?
that's a Kayla Caskey thing. She's from North Louisiana, so all of a sudden I
that's
started
the same thing
saying
as
buggy
Mississippi.
instead of cart. You know?
Yeah.
I quit saying it. Like I got out of it down here because no one said it. But when I would say it, people would be like, "What's a buggy? Are you British? Like, what's a buggy?"
I'll get you around Kayla a little bit. She's
know.
What is a buggy?
I'm trying
you'll
to think
be
of what I
Mississippi.
said. But yeah, but what's a buggy?
You say
Are
cart.
you going to put the buggy?
Yeah. Hey, mate.
Except it's
man.
buggy. Put the milk in the buggy.
Yeah. You say book sack or
I say book
No,
sack.
I said backpack.
backpack,
Backpack.
book sack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
book sack.
You say book sack?
Yeah.
What's that from? Like an Alexandria thing?
I don't know. I think it's a New Orleans. No, New Orleans is backpack. I think it might be like a Central Louisiana thing. Just
Okay.
know.
Sack of books.
Yeah.
Give me a book sack.
That's what it is.
That's how I thought we'd start.
Weird.
Well, we've
Sack
got
of
we've got a guest coming up at 8:00 today. Kim Dameron. He was the head coach at Eastern Illinois recently. He was coaching at Ole Miss whenever I coached there, so we've got a background together. But he was also the defensive coordinator at Louisiana Monroe when they went into Alabama in 2007 and beat Alabama. So I think everybody will appreciate that around here. So
Was Alabama terrible then that year?
that
I
was
guess?
that Saban's first
Saban's first year was
Oh, that's
07
right.
because LSU went to Alabama and almost threw up on themselves.
So he
and
beat
gave
him.
up.
He beat them as the defensive coordinator at ULM that first year of Saban. So, and then he's also played at Arkansas. So he's got quite a bit of SEC ties, and that's at 8:00 today.
And he's got some Ole Miss ties, right? Did
Yeah,
you already mention that?
Yeah, we coached at Ole Miss together. He was there for 3
Literally
years,
just said
secondary
that.
coach.
I was typing in
Yeah,
in the
you
chat.
Lloyd,
I'm high right now.
Yeah,
Listen.
I woke up.
listen, I may not look like Jordy, but you got to remember where I'm sitting today. Listen
Yeah,
to what I'm
listen to me.
saying.
All right.
All right, eyes
Aight.
on me.
So
OD.
we're gonna move into some Saints plays from last night.
Yeah. So I think
Pretty disappointing.
if you look at what offensively, if you looked at the numbers and you took away the interception column,
Yeah, that would be great.
they put up a ton of yards and Andy threw 4 touchdowns but you also throw 3 interceptions, 2 pick sixes within about a minute of each other in the end of the first half. And I will say, if the first interception, if the guy would have just caught the ball it was a second interception, but the first pick six, if the guy would have just caught the ball on the crossing route,
Yep.
the second interception probably doesn't happen because obviously the first one doesn't happen. So it's one of those things where, okay, you had a bad play and then it just kind of compounded because then you're in 2-minute mode again and you're trying to get the ball down the field and you kind of feel like, oh, we had an 8-point lead at one point, now it's gone and now we're behind, and it just snowballed so fast at the end of the first half.
Still a top tier video of Andy Dalton.
Oh,
coming
did
off
you
the
see
field.
that, Coach?
You talking about when he was talking to Pete Carmichael?
No.
No.
So Andy's walking off the field, and they have the 4K camera on the sidelines,
Yes.
and it's focused on Andy Dalton. He's walking off as the guy's returning it to the left side of the end zone, and he cuts that like massive flip,
jumps,
and you can
yeah.
see it focus on him for a little bit. And Andy's walking off. It's like they
It's
just got the
such a good
shot of a
shot.
lifetime.
They really
I didn't see
Just
that.
It's been
pain.
like over and over on social media.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
We'll
I'll
pull
have
it
to-
up.
I'll have
It's
to
a
look
good
that up.
shot.
Great.
Yeah, we'll have to
I
pull
did
it
see
up.
the second pick six. That was a really, really bad end zone dance by Simmons. I don't know what he was doing.
I don't know.
It was like a wobble. It was like the old wobble walk. You know, I don't even know how to explain it.
Wobble baby, wobble.
I wasn't
Good.
watching at that point.
But you know, the thing that got me is I don't have the exact numbers right here. I guess I could pull them up. But the rushing, the New Orleans rushing, obviously when you're down that much in the second half, you're not going to run the ball as much. But it just like the rushing numbers didn't seem to add up to normal. They didn't look like they were running the ball. And again, is that a product of being a Thursday night game?
22 rushing yards, 22 total carries, 85 yards.
Yeah, that's not.
That's that Saints football with what they're trying to do. I wouldn't imagine.
And everybody's saying, well, why didn't Taysom Hill play in the second half? Well, you're down by two scores at least, and he's not your hurry up guy. He's not your guy that's going to get you. He's your guy that's going to when you've got the lead or you're in the game. He's the guy that can get you keep it. He can keep that rushing going. He can run the clock. He can do things like that. But he's not the guy that's going to go throw like Andy 361 yards. But again, when you throw 3 interceptions, it doesn't. It's not conducive to winning. But again, I think the rushing part of it early on, I think they tried to get Kamara in it, but then it just kind of, I don't know what happened. But if you watch if you watch the previous games, like one of the things I made a big deal about was the push the line was getting, and that you got to keep using that. But again, you think about this. Nobody's really talking about this as much, but they played in London, 2.5 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Then they came back, they played 2 games, and then they turned around and went halfway across the country to play a Thursday night game. These, again, those Thursday night games are hard enough, but to say you just came back from London, and then think about the recovery of that week.
Yeah,
I've flown.
I've recovered by then, or by now, right?
Yeah, but he's talking about it all stacks up on top of
It's
each
just
other.
stacking and stacking
Well,
and
it's Thursday
stacking.
night football. I don't think they should have it.
I have no problem with Thursday night football. But the problem with Thursday night football is a lot of times the scheduling before it isn't always fair for one team. So like if you're, I think they always, if I'm not mistaken, I think the away team on Thursday nights always plays at home that Sunday before, and the home team on Thursday night usually plays away.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that they try to even it out. But again,
it's still too close. I mean, that's why there's so many injuries. I feel like I just don't understand why we need Thursday night
Because
football.
I got to be entertained. God damn it! I need my football.
but
We got to
still.
have the sports equinox.
And Jeff Bezos has to make his money.
And I totally last night was scrolling through where's the game? And then I was like, oh, it's Amazon. It's Amazon.
It'll be on the same channel
I'm
for
still
Black
not
Friday.
used to it.
Yeah.
I know
I've
you've
been
got a
plugging
prime.
that
I know you got a
already.
Prime membership.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
Okay.
I got her Prime membership.
Yeah, come on now.
I mean, there's a package at my door every day, at least one, every day.
But that's why they said that they're playing on Black Fridays. He doesn't want people going out shopping.
Right.
He wants people on Amazon.
Well, Amazon does a big Black Friday.
Exactly.
But weren't they
Yeah.
talking about next year? Weren't they already
No,
plugging next year?
This is this year. He's
Is it
trying
this-
to.
I feel like they were plugging something for next year
Bezos is
already.
trying to run the roost.
Well, yeah, he does.
Football.
Is that why they're doing? So the Black Friday game is on? It's
Black
gonna be on.
Friday.
It's gonna be but it's gonna be on Prime.
Yeah.
And so
Man,
he doesn't
that's
want
a-
people shopping. He wants people looking at Amazon while they're watching Amazon. He's taking over our
The
body and
world.
mind.
That's
Yeah.
I'm
he's
fine with it.
Grooming us
It's-
for
it's
Amazon
very
only.
convenient.
Yeah.
I think he's getting ready to buy the NFL.
He's either going to
Probably.
buy.
I think he's just gonna buy the NFL
You think
He
straight
could
up.
buy all
Buys them.
32.
Wow.
Except for the Packers. They're publicly owned. They're not going to get. They
You
beat
know
your
what?
door with a pitchfork.
Enough money, and you can buy whatever you want.
That's
No matter who
true.
owns it.
Everything's for sale.
So, but-
Brian Burgess asked if I'm dressed in purple and yellow. I am, because it's Ole Miss Hate Week day weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's why he asked.
So, somebody in the chat said I skipped over Andy's interceptions and talked about the end zone dance. I didn't skip over his interception.
We're about to get to him in the
We're-
tape.
we're-
Trust me,
there,
we've
everybody.
we've got it covered today. We're doing. Y'all are going to be tired of Caskey's clicker today.
Nah,
It's impossible.
never.
We're about to tear it down here in a little while, but yeah, I've actually got the 3 interceptions, the video of those from last night. So we will take a look at that here in a little bit and kind of break them down, because there's distinct differences between the 3 of them, and I'd say one of them definitely wasn't on Andy, but the other 2, one of them he's trying to make a play. The other one, I mean, he gets hit a little bit, but I think it's pressing at that point, and I don't even think he saw Simmons on that last one. But yeah, it's they got tackling issues too.
Well, I think the reason that Andy Dalton is playing over Jameis is not indicative of what you saw last night, right? Andy's in there so you can protect the ball, run the football, kind of lean on the defense a little bit. If 2 of those 3 things aren't working, and Andy Dalton feels like he has to force it down the field, or you get turnovers like he had, then, and I don't want to put it all on Andy Dalton because I know you're a big Andy Dalton guy, but at the end of the day, everybody's going to look at the quarterback, and whatever Andy Dalton isn't doing, what he was basically assigned to be like, people hate game manager, but that's what you want him to do, be able to turn and hand it off to Kamara, get Taysom Hill in there. They have a kind of their own scheme within the NFL, and if you're going to turn the ball over and get behind, that doesn't work, right? The Saints aren't able to play their offense that they want to play.
Correct, and that's also why Jameis Winston wasn't playing, and apparently somebody's taking the trash out. So
True Blue Water is here right now, coming to hydrate the show.
Love
But-
that. Yay.
but what I was saying is that's the reason Jameis Winston wasn't playing in the first place, is because when you're turning the ball over as much as you're turning the ball over and getting sacked or not picking up the blitzes and things, and that's what Andy was doing up until last night, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of went away. It's like the Cooper Rush thing. All of a sudden, everybody loved him. It was great. He was 5-0, hadn't turned the ball over or whatever. Then all of a sudden, he turns the ball over 3 times against Philly, and everybody's like, "Oh, this guy sucks."
It's
well,
a totally different story.
Get Dak back. We need Dak back. Yeah, I'm like, okay, come on. The dude just played his ass off for,
4 games.
He really
4 or 5
did.
games, and nobody expected it at all. If you would have told anybody in Dallas that Dak was going to miss 4 or 5 games and they were only going to lose 1, I think everybody would have taken that. But now it's like, oh man, Cooper Rush sucks. I'm like,
It's
Well, the
wild.
first person that's saying that is Jerry Jones. He's like, where's Dak?
Yeah.
Dak's ready.
He's back.
He's back. Dak, yeah, modern miracle.
He's
You know
back
Dak
now.
can play.
Yeah.
And Cooper Rush's wife, like watching her gives me anxiety because she has so much anxiety watching him throughout the games, and they always put the camera on her.
it's.
What?
But then they say something like she came to the game. Like, what are you doing this way? I'm going to the game.
Yeah.
Like, why does everybody think that's so weird? Or why did he think that was weird?
I wondered about that,
I was
too.
shocked at that. Like,
He doesn't want to hurt his games.
Cooper doesn't?
Well, she
Yeah.
traveled for it. It was where was it? It was the.
it was
he
in
thought
Philly.
he
It was
was
in
gonna
Philly.
be-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah.
probably didn't want her to go to Philly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she traveled for it, and he told her not to, and she did anyway.
Well,
But
so-
that's sweet. Why not?
So my
Yeah.
wife went to the opening game in, oh man, it was like 15. I think it was 2015. We played at Oakland in the opening game, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to Oakland. I'm like,
No.
I said, okay, you better not wear. You can wear black because we were with the Bengals at the time. I said you can wear black because you'll fit in. You'll kind of be neutral. I said if you go in there with all your glitter boots and your feather boas and all this stuff, I'm like, you may not come out of that place.
They eat you alive.
And then luckily, a friend that owned a bar in Cincinnati was like, "Hey, we got a suite if you want to come sit." So they let her go sit up in the suite. I'm like, sweet. I literally sweet, but I'm down on. We're coaching the game, and you just see fights all over the place. And oh my God, I get it why you may not want your wife at the game. It's maybe Philly, maybe that's why. But again, if you're the starting quarterback, even if you are Cooper Rush, you better tell Jerry, give me a suite for my wife. I don't want her in the stands.
Yeah, protect her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Cooper Rush has go ask
Yeah,
Jerry for
I was
sweet
gonna say.
cachet
No
yet.
pool.
Hey, if you're the starter, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
you
but if
should
you're the
right
starting
now.
quarterback and the stars on your helmet, you should have that. Just
Yeah.
at least for the time being.
Just take advantage of it while you got it. Like,
Yeah.
I got this black card for a month.
Look, Jerry, I'll give you some
Exactly.
salt.
Yeah. with this breakfast biscuit.
Right.
So gross.
Well, do y'all want to get into that film?
Yeah, let's get into
Let's
it.
dive into a little
right. Let me.
from last night, Thursday night football with Saints and Cardinals. Saints obviously lose another, and it feels like they had a kind of a real golden opportunity there to be able to. The division's still not gone. Obviously, the NFC South is what it is. Christian McCaffrey gets traded to the 49ers at like the middle of the game.
So many
So-
good memes about that.
Yeah,
too.
so you see, obviously the Panthers weren't a threat, but you see the NFC South get weaker. The Saints are still somewhat attached to this division in some way because nobody wants to take it. Panthers feel like they're fire selling everything. You get rid of Robbie Anderson, you get rid of Christian McCaffrey. Saints lose again, but they're still somehow alive in this thing. So let's take it to Arizona versus the Saints.
Do y'all not think that the timing of the Christian McCaffrey thing was because the game kind of was not in a good spot at
It
that point?
Oh yeah, that's how the NFL
They
works.
smelled blood
It
in
was
the
it was
water.
perfect
Like, let's do
timing. So.
this.
Yeah, don't turn off your TV just yet.
All right, so we're going to go in. This is the first interception down in the red zone. Again, this film's brand new, so like I've watched it a little bit, but as you see, right now, I think Andy, to me, when you got that tight of a window right there, and you're trying to fit it in there, so I'm gonna tell us straight. So he's trying to make a play, but I'm not sure that you're going to be able to fit that ball into that window. So that's pressing to me. And again, maybe it's the black jerseys. Maybe he just thought it was somebody in the night, some night ninja over there. It's like he didn't see him coming. I don't know. I'm trying to find an
Somebody
excuse.
in the night.
Sorry, I'm just making excuses here.
A
So,
stranger in the night.
but that's you can see down here. There's a window to get it in there, but I'm not sure he saw that guy. And again, I think that goes back to the last interception as well. Is not seeing, not
Yeah.
necessarily seeing Simmons, but again, when that's a tight window, and I believe when you're trying to make a play, and you feel like, I think at that point they were up
They were winning.
8 maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe he was just feeling it. And sometimes quarterbacks have a feel sometimes, and they just say, you know what, that's what I'm gonna do. This one is not. This one's just a easy shallow cross route, and this guy's got to catch this ball. There's no excuse for this, and there's no excuse just to have. I mean that hit him right in the hands, and obviously,
Man.
you know that's like the biggest gift ever for.
That's the guy that threw the shoe.
That seemed unnecessary, right?
Hey.
The
Over
flip.
Florida?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say my man here. At least he's given some effort though.
Oof, one more
Y'all,
last
I
push.
felt so sorry for him. Like he was never going to catch him.
No, but you got to
That
finish
big
the
fella.
play.
But what
Cesar
about
Ruiz.
the flip? Was that necessary?
Yeah.
That just showed.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
Thursday.
Take this game
It's
over.
Thursday night football. Yes, it's
Yeah,
necessary.
I'm in all
It's-
blacks right now.
That was weird.
My man's wearing Crocs on the other side.
but you can't. I mean, obviously he's behind the goalpost, but that's hitting him right in the hands.
Tips and
And
overthrows, coach.
no doubt. And that is. It's funny you say that, but that is a drill, the tip drill and everything. Everybody's like, oh, nobody ever works. People work the tip drill, and if it's not worked by the defense, it's worked by the DBs.
What do you mean they work the tip drill?
Have
So
you ever
they-
seen Nelly's video?
So they'll throw a ball and they'll actually tip the ball up, and the whoever's tipping it
On
will tip
purpose?
it in different directions, and they'll have like three defenders kind of converging like that, and they'll tip it in the air, and they'll have to react to get it, and they try to make it as difficult as possible. But let's see here.
So he wasn't there on that day.
So
of
that's
practice,
a-
maybe.
That's some pretty good Superman right
he
there.
was.
I mean, that's
I was hoping he was
agile.
going to tuck at some point because otherwise he's just. About to
You know what?
belly
One of
flop
these
that
one of these
And then he
days,
just
one of these
popped right
days,
up.
one of these dudes is going to break their tailbone when they land
That's
like
what
this.
I wondered. I mean,
That hurts too.
That's what the pad's for.
it's pretty
They don't-
impressive.
Put that girdle
You
on.
know they don't wear no pads.
Well, no, so they're supposed to. So that's a good point. They actually are supposed to wear the hip pads and the butt pad, but they build them. They have these girdles now that they wear. You know, instead of like jock straps, so they got these girdles they wear, and they've got the padding in the side and the back. And I'm just telling y'all that ain't padding anything.
I'm just
like-
here so I don't get fined.
So here's the last one again. Simmons is like hanging right here. He's trying to hit this in route right there, which honestly, it
was clearing.
it was clearing. So they're playing all. I mean, they're playing. They're blitzing. So they're just playing 3 deep, 3 under, and this guy has the middle of the field, and I'm just not sure
What you saw on that?
what he saw. You can see it from the end zone. So hold on. You
That
gotta-
dance was terrible.
Yeah, I need a different angle.
there's a better angle here in just a
The
second. But
dance was awful.
so
No, what was that? What were they?
it was the
trying to
wobble.
do?
Tell you, he was trying to do the wobble. So here's Simmons. So Simmons just going to drop straight back. So you got two guys out over here. So I think they were thinking he was going to get pulled out, and that guy was going to come in behind it. But again, Justin's this guy right here. I mean, look at it. Look at the position he's in right there. And that guy's a rare athlete. I was saying earlier before we went on the air, have you ever seen him in person? We played him last year when I was in Jacksonville, and just the guy walking on the field pregame just looks like he doesn't look human. I mean, the guy's.
First T-ball bus.
But you can
First
see
of all,
too.
yes.
You can see too right here. That, I mean, the left guard's doing the lookout block right here, and
He's
that's
actually doing the worm.
He's snutty and nobody.
and yeah, he's schnutting himself right there. That's actually a good. That's what a schnutty looks like, but you're supposed to be somebody under you.
What's
Right.
a schnutty?
That's when you
Dragging nuts on their back.
there you go.
Oh, really? That really is.
It's the term schnutty.
Okay.
Pretty,
Hey, my man,
terrible
Another,
experience.
yeah.
my man's trying though. I mean, he's giving the effort. Now here it comes. Wobble baby, wobble baby,
Well,
wobble.
baby, I kind of like it.
That
Maybe
was
his
weird.
legs are messed up.
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, I feel
So
like he just
anyway,
really-
all right.
Crazy
So
legs.
that's a look at the interceptions from last night, and I'm good, Stewie. So that's the 3 I got. Again, I think one of them obviously not on Andy. One of them, and that's the one I think turned the tide. That's where the game turned when they didn't catch that ball, and then Preston again. I don't know if he didn't see the guy on the first one, coming from the side, because it looked like the way that the receiver was running in the end zone and the way he placed the ball, he was placing it as if there was nobody coming from his left. And, again, it's playing quarterback's not easy. I think anybody who says, oh, I could have made that throw. Okay, good.
Go get back there.
Go try.
Yeah.
And then you know what? I would have hung in the pocket. I would have stepped up. I say it all the time. Why didn't you just step up in the pocket? Well,
A lot of
yeah,
big
listen,
man, a lot of
a
weight
lot,
around me.
lot of stuff coming at
Yeah.
a lot of stuff coming at you, man. But no, so again, they got to get that. They got to get that fixed, and they also got to get the fact that their defense gave up a ton there too.
Pain all over.
And so there's a lot of things for the Saints to fix. Are they 2-5 now?
bad.
When's
Already?
the
Is it 2 and
when's the
5?
last time they were 2-5?
I don't know.
2005,
Maybe.
probably.
Really?
Think?
Yeah, whenever they got that first round pick to get Reggie.
Because that's
This guy.
it's
And now they don't even have their first rounder this year.
It's
He goes
new-
to the
it's-
Eagles.
Yep.
He's undefeated.
why does it go? Why is it going to the Eagles?
I don't know.
I don't know how that works, but they traded.
Who did they get?
I don't know. Who
It was part of a 3-team trade, I would imagine.
I was going to say because I can't think of who the Saints sent to or who Philly sent to the Saints
They didn't send anybody.
for a first round pick.
Did we think the Saints were going to be this bad?
No.
No,
Saints
I don't
was
think
pretty
so.
Beginning of the
good. Mike
season.
Thomas was supposed to be back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
but
know.
you do
Supposed
have
to be
like
throwing it.
you do have like 8 starters out right now.
Kamara's
Yeah.
supposed to be doing it. Jarvis, like,
Right.
yeah, you got some
Yeah,
guys
that's,
out.
I mean, that's part of it, but, I mean,
It's
Can't
kinda
blame all
falling
that.
apart.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sean Payton was able to win 9 games last year, and the roster looked pretty much the same, if not worse, in terms of who you had out on the field. Like they had the same essentially receiving core, except without Chris Olave last year. Like
Did Jameis play the whole season last year?
no, you had Trevor.
Trevor Siemian?
Simeon.
Oh, Simeon played?
3 or 4 games
Yeah.
after Jameis got hurt. Taysom played some. They really didn't have, which is why they went out and got Andy Dalton to have
Yeah.
a legitimate backup if this happened to Jameis. And you see that Andy's keeping you in games. It's just a matter we got to get to that. We got to fold it over one more time.
Yeah, and the
By committee last year.
crazy thing is they actually got themselves back into striking distance at the end of the game. Just ran out of time, but they were. I think if there would have been another couple minutes on the clock, which obviously there's not. I get it, but they were still fighting at the end. It was too much.
That field goal meant a lot to Lloyd.
It did. Had over 1.5
Oh,
field
did
goals
it?
by Will Lexington. I was texting Stewie. I was like, there's a ward where you have to kick this field goal, then you onside kick it and go for 2. And after that penalty, I was like, this is what they have to do. They have to get the 3 now, and then you onside kick it. You're kind of right where you just were.
Did you notice?
Perfect coaching.
You notice how
Hit my bits.
there's got to be a better way than the onside kick because you can't. The way the rules
my
are,
God.
the way the rules are in the NFL, you can't get an onside kick anymore.
No.
Because you can't overload the side. You can only have 3 people outside the numbers. There's so many things that are keeping you from getting an onside kick anymore, and they did that on purpose. They did that for safety purposes for the kickoff, but they should give them a choice. Like what was it, XFL or USF, 4th and 15 or whatever? Let them have 4th and 15. Go for it.
I think everybody in the NFL would go for it after every touchdown.
You know what? It would become the new going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, who's the coach for the Los Angeles Chargers? I mean,
Staley.
Yeah, he goes for it on 4th and 15 whenever he's not going to get the ball back. So
whatever.
It would open up a can of worms. You should maybe if you were only down. Or if it was like the 4th quarter, you could do it. But there's an avenue where you got to. We were laughing about the onside kick last night. The first one, he just kicked it. Like,
he just
it didn't even bounce.
It was just on the ground. He just
you can
kicked
tell
it
they
on
don't
the
even
ground.
practice it anymore. It's like there's no point.
They don't. It doesn't get practiced. Put it this way: it does get practiced, but we always practiced it on like Friday, and it was like the last thing you did. And the whole point of practicing it was the guy that was going to catch it. That was the back guy. That guy. That was his job. It was his practice. It was just his time to catch a weird bounce.
Yeah,
and
cover it up and we're going in.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
And we're not even wearing pads, shorts and shirts.
Yeah.
Just catch it.
So
down.
do y'all want to? I've got an Ole Miss preview. So it's a little bit it's a little lengthy. It's not. It's not real lengthy, but it's enough. Do you want to try to get into that before our 8 o'clock? Yes.
Yeah. How much time do we have?
30
Yeah,
minutes.
30.
Yeah. Let's go to break and we'll set you up on the on Caskey's clicker, and we'll be back with an LSU Ole Miss preview. Everything brought to you by Go Chevrolet, except for the clicker, brought to you by Citizens Bank.
There you go.
There we go.
We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping. Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at Go Flow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, katie@jordyculotta.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
All right, welcome back to Jordy Culotta Show. I'm Jordy Culotta. Nice to see everybody today. Right now, we've got a comment in the comment section over here in the live chat. I got to make a point of. Stop talking about my shoes, okay? I got these from the Lions. These are Detroit Lion issue shoes.
Hold a shoe up, let 'em
These are
see.
Detroit Lion issue shoes. All right, these are.
That's team gear.
This is
One of
team
one.
gear. All right.
Yeah.
If it's free, it's for me.
If it's free, it's me.
So we want to get into a little Ole Miss preview before our 8 o'clock guest, who has Kim Dameron used to coach at Ole Miss, and get his viewpoint on the game. And right now, I think Brian Kelly was talking about the offense, and you guys were at the press conference, right? So
Yeah, we all went to TJ Ribs together last night.
Together.
You know it.
Yeah.
Together.
So
You didn't see me tweeting. I tweeted out all the
Drunk
quotes.
together.
I think
Yeah.
he makes
Actually,
a point
roll
of
with BK.
Yeah.
he makes a point of how creative they are, and I think that's true when we start looking at it, and just the ability to run the ball this year. Everybody thinks that this is a passed offense and everything. It's not. It's like almost like the air raid. Everybody thinks the air raid at Mississippi State is this big passing offense, which yes, it is, but it's also got run elements to it. And I think he's taken the run element of his offense and really taking it off to another level then obviously that opens up the passing game. So.
How much can you take from what LSU did against Ole Miss in terms of, I guess, I know the schemes are somewhat comparable but not the same, but how much can you take from what LSU was able to do against Ole Miss and apply that to, against Mississippi State and apply that to Ole Miss? Sorry, I get it.
I think Ole Miss's run game is better than Mississippi State's by far better. So you got to spend a little bit more of your resources taking care of the run, and that's going to cause issues. Just that's going to take a little bit away from your pass defense. You may not be able to just spy guys and do things like that in certain situations because they are going to run. So if you'll throw the video up for me, Stewie, and I'll. So this is again the Citizens Bank telestrator. So we're going to go to Jerry Hollingsworth Field at Ole Miss. That's Katie's favorite place. Looking at a few of their runs, one of the things, and some of these are big runs. That's great. I'm not necessarily as worried about that, but what they're doing is running inside zone. And if you just watch the movement, this is 3rd and 1 right now, but if you just watch the movement of the line, they're covering dudes up. It's and the thing that's good about that is this back has good patient vision, and it allows him to make these cuts like right here. And yeah, there's a guy on the ground, but there's a guy here that's unblocked, obviously. There's a guy here that's unblocked, guy here that's unblocked. But the acceleration to split two, he just goes that, and that's what they're doing. There's not this, there's no just we're trying to out scheme you. We're just good at what we do. So again, long run from the sideline. Runs don't matter from the sideline. Some of y'all will start learning that about me. Runs only matter. Now I want you to watch this tight end because I believe this tight end's actually going to come back around here. This linebacker's actually going to step up. He cuts this linebacker off, which is that right there is good football. Again, they're just creating holes. It's not like this running back's just making a ton of people miss or anything. It's just they're doing things that are good, and it's showing up. So again, here's a front side cut. We saw all those up the middle. Now here he goes up the front side. So they're creating that this running back's got a good feel for the inside zone game of what's going on, and anybody who knows football. So he's running here. He's really reading him, and then if all this spikes in, then he just takes it out the front, and you can see right there he played inside, and a little hole opened up right there, took it, and they're doing a good job with that.
I mean, that's high-level stuff for a freshman, huh?
Yeah, that's good. And then here what they're doing here now, they're running the read zone out of the pistol. So all of a sudden you were offset. Now you're in the pistol. Now this tight end's going to come around and block for the quarterback. Quarterback's going to end up pulling, and now you've got that blocker. Same thing you saw LSU doing a couple times with Jaden Daniels. So this actually fits into what LSU can do. If you look at last week's game, this kind of stuff for LSU, it's the same stuff. And you see it's working for Ole Miss, obviously. But this is stuff that the LSU defense, hopefully.
A receiver in the backfield, right?
They have had a receiver. Actually, that is a receiver coming around. That's actually a receiver. I think that is a receiver coming around. But
put him in the backfield, too, a lot.
Yeah, 11. Yeah, so you got, again, same play. Guy's going to come around. Quarterback pull. Now you got a blocker out in front for your quarterback. This quarterback isn't like a burner, but he's good enough. I would say he's a lot like Jaden Daniels, where he's, Jaden Daniels is fast, but you're not thinking he's going to outrun the entire defense either. But this guy, I think, has enough that he can.
If you get Jaden in this look, he might house this.
Yeah.
He's got top end speed.
I mean, I'm just saying, like
right here.
This guy is doing.
He's gone.
He's enough, but again, it makes you have to respect it, and that opens up a lot of other things. Now they're going to run a counter OT, so now they're going to pull both backside linemen, and again, this play here complements everything you're doing with the zone game, because right now you almost, except for the fact that this is tendencies now. Normally they've been doing this, or they've been in the pistol, and now your back's over here, so you're it's a different look. So now they're kicking and pulling around. He actually takes us all the way around the edge here. See 29 right here. So watch the way this guy plays this. See, he goes inside, spills it. So they end up going around to block on the outside and just sealed it off. So they're doing a lot of good things. Now this play is called bash. So this really is, they're really running the same thing with these guys, but the quarterback is going to be the one that either pulls it or takes it, and this guy's running around the edge, and they're reading the backside over here. So if this backside guy trails it, they hand it off this way, even though all these guys are going this way, because these guys are actually blocking for the quarterback, and you'll see the quarterback. So here's one that they pull. Here's one that they handed off, and he goes around the edge, and it looks kind of crazy because, and again, there's some tackling issues for Vandy, but you can see it from the end zone. Like, everybody's going the opposite direction in the back, but that's the way it's designed. They're actually blocking for the quarterback to go here, and then he did that. And then the next play, the quarterback pulls the ball and runs the play instead of handing it off. So instead of handing it to the back here, he ends up going here. So you can see they've done them both ways. So same play, different look, different. If you're breaking it down, if you're the defense and you're breaking this down, this is the exact same play. It's just went a different direction. Quarterback lead draw. I mean, they've got it all, and I think this is actually the one, Stu, you were talking about, number 11 in the backfield. That's a receiver. So even though 11's in the backfield, this receiver, he goes up and lead blocks. So they're doing things that are they're finding creative ways to run plays that aren't supposed to be normally run. And then again, jet sweeps.
He blocked.
Coach, can you run that back a little bit? I'm sorry.
Which one?
The one with 11 lead. This one right here. What's 11, dude? I mean, we put him in here for a reason, and he just
he got look.
He got a hat on a hat.
Have you ever heard of a got man? Okay. Did this guy make the play?
No.
Did that guy make the play? No.
He just tiptoeing.
He did his job. Got man. All right.
Yeah.
That's
what he's running back to the huddle saying.
So
got his ass.
Got his ass,
these last two runs, just to make a point, they've got the jet sweep. Great. They've got the jet sweep. Now, this play is a jet sweep. I don't know if this was supposed to be a pass. I think it was. I think 8 right here. I think they're actually trying to throw it to 8. I'm not real sure why he just didn't uncork that thing, because it's there.
Coach, I haven't got the ball all day.
But right here, they do have a lot of things off of these plays. And here in just a minute, I just remember this action right here. Remember this action of this guy going here and the quarterback going here, because in just a little while they're going to throw a pass off of that too.
And he's wide.
And they're actually going to throw another pass where just these two guys run. I mean, they've got something off of everything. And so if we go into the passing game real quick, just want to make a point of they run this sail with a crosser. So you remember sail route, Katie?
Yeah, the triangle looking.
So
it's like a boat.
kind of.
Yeah.
So they've got a crosser, they've got a deep post, and they've got somebody leaking out over in this area over here. So you'll see right here the back leaks out. So they've got 1, 2, 3. They've got the 3 level, and they've actually got a guy crossing like over here. So point being, same play, they threw here. All right, let's go to the next play. Same play, same concept. You got the crosser coming over here. You got your low high, and you got your high right here. So on this one, they end up hitting the crossing route. Is there anything hard about what he's doing? He's just dropping back and he's reading out the defense of saying, okay, I want to read it. This is called a Mardi Gras read. Do you know why it's called a Mardi Gras read, Katie?
Why? No.
Because it's top down.
You just made that up.
No, I did not make that up. I swear.
And the sail route, it's all about the little man in the boat.
So again, here comes your underneath, here comes your crosser, and then here goes your deep post. Well, throw it to the deep post.
Take the top down.
So again, they're
Tap off, baby.
it's the same concept, throwing at different guys. Their quick game is simple. They've got a simple quick game. But when these guys are playing so far off right there, but when they're playing so far off, that's a guaranteed completion. You take it.
Should have been pass interference because 0 was for sure blocking before the ball was going.
My lip has been curled up this entire time that you've been showing.
It's
all
it's
this.
okay.
It's just permanently.
All right, now
Scowl.
Yeah.
I think the good thing about this quarterback, though, he does know where his guys are at all times. Because watch him. He's under duress right here. He steps up, and then he knows I've got a check down.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of quarterbacks at that point get a little flustered, and they don't necessarily know where their guys are until they see them.
Same play.
So the same play. So like, see how he steps up? He's still got his eyes downfield, but as he starts to lose, he's losing time here. He knows he's got a check down over here, and he's just easy to stow it down. So he knows where his guys are. I think that's a big thing for quarterbacks. The other thing that's big with quarterbacks and receivers is the timing with the receivers. They've got right now this is a 9 stop or you can call it a fade ball, back shoulder. But that's great timing with that guy. And again, that's not a catch in the NFL, but this is not the NFL, so that's still a catch. And I think the timing wise with this guy and his receivers has been really, really good. And again, if you talk about timing, this here is a right there. So to get that guy to go off right there, and then again, I thought that was good timing with the receiver.
Yeah, you're throwing it almost before he's looking.
What do you mean it wouldn't be a catch in the NFL? What would be?
Because he only got 1 foot in.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this play right here.
All right, so they're selling the wide zone over here, and they're going to turn over here. This guy's just running a little tunnel screen. What they're going to do though is they're going to get these guys out over here and lead up. Talk about timing. I want you to watch these offensive linemen and this receiver.
This is football porn.
This receiver right here knows when he catches this, he's going to Nike swoosh this thing back. All right, you know why it's called Nike swoosh?
Well,
That looks like a Nike swoosh,
yeah.
right? It's pretty simple. So,
It's a bench route.
but so he kicks this guy out. This lineman's up on this guy. Talk about timing. Look at the timing of this kick out block. The spot where he catches it in the alley between the hash and the numbers is exactly where you want to catch it. And then he gets away from one guy and he's gone. I want to make a point about number 1. His name's Jonathan. I can't think of his last name. What is it?
Jonathan Mingo.
Jonathan Mingo. This guy is legit player.
That's that
so
guy.
this is the receiver. Like he doesn't. I looked him up. It said he runs a 4.5. I don't know who decided to call that a 4.5. This cat can move now. This cat can run, and I'm about to show you this next play. I want you to. He's up top, up here. I just want you to take a look at the speed of this guy.
4.5 speed.
I don't think this is 4.
No,
watch when he actually
4.4.
turns. Watch him when he turns it on. That's
Look
more.
at him eating the space.
Look at him. Yeah.
I mean, I
He's just
get
a run
I
for
get it. It's Vanderbilt though. He's
it
running
is
against a bunch
Vanderbilt.
of math guys and engineers. I get it, but
I have an OChem test Monday, so
let me go get beat on
I
Saturday.
just learned about screens.
and how they work. What's a tunnel screen though?
That's
Like
what.
why?
Well, you're like.
I know. I'm asking though. Why?
I think it because he's like doing this, so he's kind of running back through the tunnel.
Okay.
He's running into a tunnel.
Favorite third down play right there, Coach.
So this right here, this play action, and again, I want you to watch number 1 coming off the ball here. This is him right here. He's going to kind of come off and like stalk block for a second. This guy's going to run up, and he's going to run right past him. So they're doing it. See how he stalked him and then ran past him? Again, that's good play design by Lane Kiffin. He knows there was something that they were showing where their quarter safeties were jumping up, and you'll see him right over here. He's going to come in here, stalk and go. And he knew their safeties were doing that, so they put that in. That may have been just a sideline adjustment. This is probably my favorite play of the whole thing. Is he's going to come over here like he's lead blocking and then take off. They're running like this quarterback lead. Oh, nope, there you go.
Oh.
So again, you got to be ready for all this kind of stuff. So the next play, I thought this was just kind of a cool concept. They're bringing that jet motion that with the receiver. So they're going to bring this guy in motion, and then you're going to have this guy run here, this guy run here. And so you've got like 3 guys running vertical, and then this guy crossing the field. So
pick one.
You got a high, you got a middle, you got a low again, but they're running, instead of crossing to it and getting to that, they're getting to that same. I mean, if you think about it, a little while ago, you had the same exact spots on the field, but it's coming from such a different look. And that guy came open. So they're doing some things. And then again, you just got to watch out for the quarterback. He does have the ability to, take off and run when need be. I thought this was really good ball security by this guy. This is not something that people don't really talk about a lot, but watch when this guy rushes here, he'll pull this ball down with both hands and pulls it away. So the guy's got a good feel for it.
Good ball security.
So moving into Ole Miss's defense. So I know, Brian Kelly mentioned them being aggressive up front. I think they are. I think their tackling is absurd, and I'll say that's good. That's good for you, Katie. Their tackling is bad. So if you look at this is just pretty much straight up. Just run straight through them. Just miss tackle right there. So
I'm gonna lose myself in space, run out of bounds.
There's nothing these guys are doing to help themselves out.
Ready to just.
So
legs full of piss.
1-on-1 right here with the quarterback. 1-on-1 with the quarterback.
Weird
miss.
Thing to say.
Here's
pissing
another.
Down his leg. Sees the guys pissing down his leg.
That's Mingo.
No.
Number 1.
No, they got 2 number 1s. Because you can do that.
That's right. We're on the defense.
So right here, watch this. This is just a simple play, nothing to it, and just
so many simple plays.
Right there, just dink, dink, dink.
Ding.
Yeah, a lot of missed that.
See one.
Again,
who is one?
I don't know who one is on their defense. I don't know. Maybe it is Jonathan Mingo. Maybe he said, you know what, y'all can't tackle. I'm going to go over here.
It's Asheem Young.
So right here, again, tackle.
Asheem Young.
Okay.
He's a transfer from Iowa State.
Well, y'all would have thought when this guy actually turned the corner here.
I thought he was tackled.
And he gets to this point right here. He's tackled, right?
Him up.
He's tackled, right? Nope. There he goes.
Squirting out of there.
So there's major tackling issues. So if you're Josh Williams, that's been breaking tackles and he's been showing it. Hey, it could be one of your things. Now, I asked them to look up the numbers on this. But I've got five quick plays and we'll go on to talk to Kim Dameron. But the red zone defense, I believe, is towards the bottom of college football, and I'm talking about giving up touchdowns in the red zone. So as we look here, this is just another run straight up the middle in the red zone, tackling again. But that's something that's going to be big for LSU this weekend. Get the ball in the red zone. Don't settle for field goals. Get touchdowns because they're giving them up.
88th in the country.
So right here, so all you're doing, same play they just ran, and they can't tackle. They don't tackle well. Again, I'm just making a point here. We'll just go past this and run straight up the middle. Then Vanderbilt run straight up the middle. Nothing fancy about it, but now again, they're on about the 20 on this next play, and what are they on the 17? So they're on 17. They're just going to run a little crossing route here. Guy catches the ball, tackle, touchdown.
Goodness.
So it's simple, but you have to score touchdowns against these guys because their offense on the other side, when they get the ball back, obviously is high powered. So that's why right now this is probably the biggest test for Ole Miss's defense with the way LSU played last week. And, I think this could be something that, and again, right here, this is just a quarterback scramble. And y'all remember this quarterback from Auburn.
Robbie Ashford.
Yeah, Robbie Ashford. He's, a good runner. Don't get me wrong. He's a good runner. But that's just simple stuff. They're just not covering down in the red zone. The last one I got is this play reminds me of what LSU can do right now with the zone reads. So they're reading this guy here. So all he does is pull the ball. So this is inside zone, pulls the ball, scores a touchdown. I can totally see LSU and Jaden Daniels running that play down there and him pulling the ball. And I see it like I saw it last week. He did it. And some of this stuff is simple. And again, they're some of this stuff's easy too. So I don't know if you noticed or not, but like there's nobody here. They've got a majorly unbalanced set here. But again, not hard, nothing hard, but the red zone defense does kind of have its issues. So need to get into score. So with that, let's take a break and we'll come back and get Kim Dameron, former Eastern Illinois head coach and coached at Ole Miss for 3 years. Spent some time at ULM up north in the state and beat Alabama as their D coordinator. So he's coming on next. Jordy Culotta Show, brought to you by Go Chevrolet.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us.
We're sitting in the dugout.
So funny you say that.
And Pelfrey is not pitching today, but he's in full uni, he's turfs, and he's standing up on the fence, whatever, just like this, watching the game. And we start talking about, pissing your pants, something whatever. He was like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. No, you won't. Yeah, how much money do you give me? So we gathered up however many people were in there. I think it ended up being $2,000 total.
I pissed my pants for $2,000.
And
100%.
So he goes in there and he's watching the game and he just starts pissing in his pants, gray pants.
Yeah.
So you see it going down his pants, long pants going into his turfs. And he's just going into his turfs. He takes his turfs out and dumps out the pee outside on the warning track, on the dugout. And he just puts them back on, and he finishes the inning. He waits till the inning is over with to leave. And so he's watching the whole inning with piss in his pants. And everybody is dying laughing. Manager's laughing. Everybody's laughing. He gets up out of it and walks to the dugout, pee all in his pants, in the gray pants. It was awesome.
Question in that game. You're listening to the Jordy Culotta Show live on YouTube. Catch it every day, 7 to 9 a.m., wherever you have internet access.
Oh, my guy. The host of Mac and Cube.
You said you wanted me to close it out.
I listen to his pod every day on WJOX 94. I thought I was going to beat Charlie. I didn't. You were fantastic as always. Have a great call in Missouri. I'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, man. Good
Later.
talking to you, Jordy.
Always. There he is. Cole Kublik, the absolute best. Don't overthink it, ABC. When you move to a primetime slot and the SEC is getting that billing, make this man the color commentator. He's the absolute best.
Ooh, I mean, what a pro.
What a pro.
I remember telling them, hey, listen, my job here is to make sure that we bring, big time football to a small town environment, right? And so you see on movies sometimes about the way a town reacts to the football program and what it means to everybody. And that was the hopes and dreams that I had for the place. And so our kids take a distinct responsibility in wearing that Z on their helmet. It means a lot to them. And then on the flip side of that, our community does a tremendous job of supporting our program, supporting the athletic department, supporting our school as a whole. And there's really a great relationship there that's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Thank you for the access, man. Looking forward to tonight. We'll talk soon.
Coach, wait, before you go, fix your hair again one more time.
Oh, look at him.
Let's go.
Yes.
Here.
Look at him.
What do you think about that?
Game day,
what do you
baby.
think about that?
Game day. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, man. Great to see you. Thank you.
You too, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man. There he is. There he is, my guy. David Brewerton checking in. What does Harold Perkins do for this defense? What does he allow you guys to do?
Yeah, Perk, man, he's just so raw, man. Like, all he know how to do is make a play. But I love him. He brings a certain type of juice to the defense, and he's right alongside of me on the edge. He knows how to rush the edge. As a young guy, that's very valuable to the defense, being able to rush the edge. Making the quarterback step up. But yeah, they put him everywhere. Middle linebacker, outside rusher. Maybe sometimes he's going to be in a drop. So he's very versatile for our defense.
All right, welcome back. Jordy Culotta Show. I am not Jordy Culotta, if you're wondering. Kyle Caskey. We got a guest coming up here. I've known Kim Dameron for, I met him in 2005 when I was his GA at Louisiana Monroe, and stayed in touch with him. Actually ended up working right alongside with him in the same room in the secondary at Ole Miss for a year in 2009. He was at Ole Miss from 08 to 10, and so he knows a lot about this series, and he also played at Arkansas. Was recently the head coach at Eastern Illinois from 14 to 18. And then one of the cool things, and I'll introduce him with this one, is he was a defensive coordinator for Louisiana Monroe in 2007 when they took the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks into Tuscaloosa and took down the mighty Alabama Crimson Tide. So with that,
put it on the resume.
So with that, bring in Kim Dameron. Coach, good seeing you.
Good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. I know you were laughing at me a minute ago because I had to adjust Jordy's headphones because his head's nowhere near the size of mine. So
you do have a big head.
Well, we won't go there.
So how are things going with you?
Going well. Getting ready for a big 7A rival game tonight up in Springdale, Arkansas.
All right. Yeah, Coach. So Coach is the head coach right now, Southside High School in Arkansas. And Coach, so you coached against LSU probably more than once, but you've played against them. You've been to Tiger Stadium. You understand the rivalry between Ole Miss and LSU. What are your thoughts going into this game this weekend?
Well, it is a huge rival game dating back many, many years. Obviously, your people down there probably know the history a lot better than I do. But I do remember in 2008, our first year at Ole Miss, and we came into Death Valley and got a 31-13 win. That was one of the bigger wins that we had while we were there. And anytime you're able to beat LSU when you're at Ole Miss, it's a big deal, and especially to be able to do it at their place. And so that was one of those victories that I look back on in my career as a major, point of one of the best victories I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, and I know when I was with you at Ole Miss for a year, but we were under Houston Nutt, and we followed up. That staff followed up Ed Ogeron, obviously, and this staff is following up Coach O. What's the challenge for Brian Kelly this year, since you've been a head coach in Division I? What's your challenge as a new head coach coming into a program that maybe obviously he's not as familiar with because he was up north at Notre Dame, but what are the challenges he has this year that he's trying to overcome?
Well, obviously, getting to know the players and getting to know them as well as you need to know them to be able to motivate them and to be able to understand the chemistry of the team that you're going to have on the field. And that takes a while. I mean, you don't just come in and all of a sudden, just because you're a heck of a coach and you got good players, all of a sudden you just know how to handle everything, because all those are human relationships. And so there's so many dynamics in a relationship that you have to get to know. You have to, coach different kids different ways. And so that's a huge learning curve, especially when you're coming into a fishbowl like an LSU, when everything that you say, you do, anything that you do with a player is going to be something that everybody's going to talk about. And so that's something that is a huge challenge, is just getting to know your team and being able to coach that team the way you need to. The second thing is getting your system put in, both sides of the ball, kicking game. There's just so many things that you it just keeps coming. I mean, every day there's something new. Every day it's something that you have to cover, once or twice or again. And so, just a lot of the first year things that you have to do to get to know your team, to get to be able to put that team on the field and for them to play at a high level, especially against the competition that you play at LSU. So what I've seen so far this year, and I haven't seen them a lot, but the times that I have seen LSU, they look, the last time I saw them, which was probably this past week maybe, or last week, they looked quite a bit better than what they did early in the season. And so that's just, that's going to happen. And there's going to be constant improvement. And the thing I know about, that staff and that team is they've got the tools. So they're going to get better, and they're going to be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, and I think, like you mentioned, the Tennessee game a couple of weeks ago versus the Florida game was a totally different thing. Now, when you've played or coached against LSU at Tiger Stadium, what's your thoughts on the difference between the 11 o'clock kickoff, the 2:30 kickoff, or that night kickoff at LSU? Because that was a huge deal here. The last Tennessee game, it was 11 o'clock kickoff, and everybody's freaking out. But what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's something that, obviously, I played for Lou Holtz, so I have to give you the Lou Holtz first. The field is, it's 100 yards long, it's 53 1/3 yards wide. They got goalposts at both ends. There's not one person in the stands that are going to come out of the stands and be able to play. They can only put 11 people out there at a time. So all that's being said, there shouldn't be any difference. But we all know that in Tiger Stadium, there is a big difference, especially 11 o'clock kickoff, because they're not quite greased up just good enough.
No doubt.
Unless they've been up all night and then they're tired. So, and if you can get an afternoon game, that's even better. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to go in there at night when they've had all day to get ready for you.
Yeah.
Coach, you had the pleasure of coaching against Les Miles in 2008 through 2010. I was just wondering what those defensive meetings were like whenever you were facing a Les Miles coached offense, and how much that strategy changed year to year, because I'd imagine it wasn't a lot.
Well, in 2008, 2009, and then again, and in 10, you knew you had to be physical up front. You knew that they were going to run downhill at you, and you were going to get power, and you were going to get a lot of big personnel sets and all that. But you also knew that they had great personnel outside. We had to play against those guys on the outside that could really run. And they were a little more diverse, actually, than what maybe Coach Miles got credit for back then, because they did spread you out and they did some good things. We were playing against Jordan Jefferson back then. And so, Jordan was a running quarterback. And so he was somebody he was a dual threat guy. And so he made it really hard to defend all that, but also with the type of speed and then, the big backs that Coach Miles always had. I got an insight also into Coach Miles. I was a defensive analyst in 19, my last year in college for him at Kansas. And so I got to actually sit in on a lot of staff meetings, with Coach Miles as the head guy, and even some of the offensive things. And so, in his soul, and you cut him open, he is a downhill running physical football coach, and that never leaves him. And so that's something that, he learned as a player and as a young coach, and served him well over the years. So that's one thing you knew you were going to get out of him, was he's going to be have a really physical offense.
And he was going to be able to. Obviously, a lot of LSU fans are going to remember the 2009 LSU game where there was a series of miscues leading up to what should have been LSU kicking a game-winning field goal. They let 23 seconds run off the clock. They don't spike it. They don't have a timeout. You see I guess what I'm getting to is like how much of a difference it has to have a game manager like Brian Kelly who's able to understand clock and situation, as opposed to a Les Miles who wasn't able to really put yourself in situations to win, and how a breath of fresh air that would be for not only the LSU fan base but also for players that are in that situation.
Well, it's one thing. Obviously, that is something that worked to our benefit when I was at Ole Miss. That was a controversial ending to a game, and I don't want to go into all the things there. And again, I'm a Coach Miles fan, so I don't there's not a coach out there in the country that at one point in his career probably has had a clock issue or a time issue that he wishes he had it back. And so, but I will say this, that Brian Kelly's always known for being a guy that is a very good clock manager, but one thing I want everybody to understand too is that, it doesn't come down to one guy. He's got a whole coaching staff and people up there with the books and with the time charts and all that stuff sitting in the press box saying, hey, we've got 47 seconds. We can do this. We can do this. We got at the end, we got 23 seconds. We got one timeout. And so we're constantly going over those situations on the headsets. And so, like me as a head coach, I had one guy that was in charge of helping me with time management, and he was my offensive coordinator, and I would, just basically always say, okay, Greg, going forward here, what do I need to be thinking about, and da-da-da-da. And when you have somebody sitting in the press box being able to do that, and they're kind of away from the situation, and they have their book right in front of them, and it's telling them exactly clock for this, or how many timeouts you have to run this much time off. So that helps, and I'm sure he's got several people helping him in that area.
That's funny you mentioned that, because I know in the NFL they have a book that's about 4 inches thick that has every situation you could ever run into, and there's one guy up there. It's usually one of the, it's either a video guy or it's a football ops guy or something at the NFL level, but like it's amazing how there's a situation for everything. But sometimes I think you can overanalyze that too, and it becomes an issue when we talked about doing this on 4th and 2 or whatever it is, instead of just getting the feel from the coach. And coach, one of the things that came up, I do some stuff up in Cincinnati, and they're talking about the play calling with the Bengals, and I think with LSU kind of falls in the same thing. If you're a play caller like you were on defense, how much talk do you want in the headphones in between plays, though? Because like everybody talks about who's calling the plays and how they're getting plays called, but the actual play caller, what are your thoughts as a play caller and people talking to you?
Well, on the defensive side, the thing that I wanted quickly was just to reiterate the fact that if maybe I couldn't see it or whatever, down in distance and hash. And I needed to know, is the ball on the hash or is it in the middle? And really, if it's on the upright, we called that the hash. So there's some things you can call or you like to call when the ball's on the hash, as opposed to calling when the ball's in the middle of the field. Now, if you're playing a lot of man and it really doesn't matter, then that's not such a big deal. But I didn't really want a lot. I knew pretty much after the first couple of series, I would basically take my game plan and put it in my back pocket and just kind of call, because I wrote the game plan, so I knew what it was and what I wanted to do in certain situations. And if I ever needed it, I would look at it to go back and look at it between series. I never looked at it hardly at all while the plays were going on. And so that's something that I know when I was at Ole Miss and I had Tyrone Nix as our defensive coordinator, and you were there on the headsets with us, and you were the one giving personnel.
Yep.
And that's a huge thing also is that, as a defensive coordinator, you need to know the personnel. That's probably as much of anything as the most important thing is you have certain things you want to call versus certain personnels. And so, that was a big role that you played, for us at Ole Miss. And so that's something that, you want that information, but you want it quickly. Yeah. And also, especially, like in third down situations, because I had been a defensive coordinator and had called defenses, Tyrone would ask sometimes, and if you didn't give him a call, I'm talking about before he almost got it out of his mouth of what do you think, then he would go on and he would make his own call. Yeah. So you had to be thinking ahead. And so that was something that, as an assistant and helping out in those situations, you got to be always thinking ahead to where, the defensive coordinator is more kind of in the moment, but he needs help with that stuff.
You mentioned your time as a defensive coordinator. I believe it was at Louisiana Tech in 2013.
Yes.
That's the year Joe Sloan arrived also at Louisiana Tech, who is now the quarterbacks coach at LSU. Do you have anything good for us on Joe Sloan and your brief time together?
I'll tell you what, I was extremely impressed with Joe Sloan as a young coach. Of course, I say young coach. I mean, everybody's kind of a young coach to me right now. But, Joe he's very professional. He's very smart. He is a detail-oriented guy. He grew up under Skip Holtz, and we all know, the Skip Holtz's background and his lineage. So he's had really good coaches that he coached for. And I can't say enough good things about Joe Sloan. I also know that during our time there at Louisiana Tech, Joe's a guy that you can really get to know. He's a good relationship person. So I guess I would imagine he's got great relationships with his players, and then also he's a heck of a recruiter. And so he's really the total package. I really think that Joe is somebody that's a rising star in the profession, and will end up being a head coach someday.
All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on. One of the things I got to point out, I don't know if you can see our screen or not, but it says Coach Kim Dameron, Alabama killer and Saban slayer. So, right, take the LSU fan base out on this note. Tell them one quick story about that game when you took the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks defense in there and beat Alabama in Saban's first year.
Okay. Late in the game, they're driving, and we had a third down and fourth down short yardage stop that were huge. And I'll tell you another quick story. So on 3rd and 8, one of my favorite calls was they had a right-handed quarterback, so the ball was on our right hash, which meant his arm was to the field. So I brought pressure from the field, and I played man under on that side and then swiped out the backside and played man under on that side, but in a different way. And we brought the front all over. So it was actually something that was a simulated blitz, what they call now. Mm-hmm. And so that was a 3rd and 8 call, and we got 2 stops off of that same call. Now, I got to give credit to Rex Ryan, though, because I worked for Rex Ryan for 2 years at Cincinnati and then went to visit him when he was with the Ravens and with the Jets and different places, and I actually stole that from Rex.
Well,
not a bad guy to get your information from.
No, not at all.
Yeah, did a snack. But, Coach, before you go, I know you wanted to leave on that note, but give us a little – pretend like Coach Caskey's not here. Give us a young GA story of Coach Caskey. I don't know how you liked your coffee or whatever he had to do for you, but let's get some dirt on our guy because he seems to be the perfect man whenever he walks in here.
Well,
we were neighbors at one point,
see.
so I'm not sure.
You hit me. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to have to. Well, I do know this, that when he met a certain young lady from Louisiana, he kind of fell head over heels. And so sometimes, I think maybe we might have caught him daydreaming just a little bit during some of
on the phone too much.
I had to drive all the way out to Start to go see her. It was like that's a long drive for a GA making $5,000 a year.
Yeah, how many texts you? Hey, where you at? It's like, oh, I got to get in the car.
Yeah. But, all right. Well, Coach, we'll let you go. Good seeing you. I'll be in touch with you soon.
Good to see you. Okay. Enjoy, guys.
Thank you for what you did.
That conversation was brought to us by S&L Pest Services, family owned and operated, husband and wife. Shelton comes here and does our pest control. He's now at my house doing pest control. I've yet to see a spider or a roach since his visit, unless it was dead outside of my home. They serve the greater Baton Rouge area. Give him a call. Give Lisa a call and set up Shelton to come to your house. It's 225-262-0496. And we'll come back. We got Josh with Iverstein's doing our Foodie Friday segment back again.
All right.
So we'll be back.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest, then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online, and stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
All right, well, welcome back.
Just missed the show.
This is the Jordy Culotta Show, Friday edition, Foodie Friday edition. We've got Josh Iverson, is the thespian butcher. By the way, somebody in the chat just says, wow, to be honest, Josh is kind of hot, H-A-W-T.
Wow,
Now that-
H-A-W-T.
But that comes from somebody named Toonces. So
Oh, it's a
we'll
cat.
see. That's a cat?
Yeah, Toonces is the driving cat from SNL.
Oh, yeah.
And then
So-
LSU's 2003 logo, they made like this switch to this terrible.
I liked it.
gotcha.
Well,
I
I know.
like Toonces,
that-
LSU Toonces.
No, it's the worst decision they
Why
could
does
have
everybody
made.
hate it so
Because
much?
it just looked god awful. It looked like a. It
With
looked
the
like an.
little hat?
No, not that one.
That's not the one?
That's like they called the 2003 logo, which was like the LSU jumping and the paw over LSU.
Oh, no.
It was not well regarded because LSU was very classic. They come out with that that logo, and everybody like grabbed a hold of like Toonstis the driving cat, and that's what it kind of evolved to.
Hat. Which one was that?
That was like
LSU
the old
logo.
Sailor LSU
Okay.
logo that a bunch of schools did. So a little LSU history. I think that's right.
That is
Well, I'll tell you what. I walked in on the right day.
Oh, absolutely.
This burrito is
So good.
like the size of my arm.
Yeah.
So I love it, man. So I know we're not going to ask you about what we were talking about in the break, but I gotta say, we learned some stuff about Josh that if you're ever in need of maybe some yoga pants, he can probably help you out.
Yoga pants,
Yeah.
construction, burritos, acting.
That was probably the strangest. I mean, I think my first job I worked at an apple orchard, but as far as strange job goes, that was the had to do Lululemon. I'd gotten laid off, and it's actually I started the same time I started at Iverscene's. I worked like 30 hours for Galen starting, and then would go and pop and do like 23.
I never saw you in Lululemon. Had to have.
I did. I did one shift out on the floor on the weekend.
Okay.
But otherwise, it would kind of be in the evenings. I would go and kind of fold, and then all their inventory comes in. So shout out to those guys because they're not like the store closes at 7 p.m. and then they sit there until about 11 at night, like unboxing new stuff and getting it ready. So
undressing the mannequins, maybe taking one home. You've
Did
seen
you-
Dahmer.
Did you find us? Did you find us to be very similar to the food work you do now? Is not really.
No.
Okay.
The butchering.
Yeah.
But here we got our breakfast burrito. You've never had it.
I have
Egg.
not.
So good.
You've got the smoked sausage. I think you two are eating up on the boudin.
Boudin.
Yeah,
if you're
it's the
actually eating
boudin.
it.
I did. Look at me.
Really? Wow.
eating
Way to
it.
go.
I know. Thank you.
Surprised there wasn't something strange in there for you.
No, you didn't cut what it
Pass
was.
on it.
Picking
Stewie's got the sausage. I like it. And
I was told I'm a full burrito type of guy.
Yeah.
So
Well, you
look
palm
like
that
it.
thing.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Well, we
That,
know
you know,
our halves.
that's
fine.
That's why I don't. Whoa, now.
This guy.
Wow.
Billy.
Splitsies.
That's why I don't. That's why I don't fit into my Lululemons very easily.
Hey, was that against Ole Miss? Was it the Halloween?
This is against Ole Miss, the Halloween game.
Aw.
7-0. That's all it takes is one punt return. See how special teams can change a game for you, Coach?
Wow.
I
We're
get
going to
it.
start there. Before we get into that, big news.
Tell us.
Our holiday meat orders are up online at
We got holiday meat all year,
IndustrialFarms.com.
Coach.
That's right. So we do, if you're unfamiliar, we do turkeys, pasture-raised turkeys. We have a smoked option or a brined we can do for you. We also have a bunch of sides, including like spinach madeleine, boudin rice if you like our
So you
boudin.
can get everything.
Everything.
Your whole meal.
People do
Thanksgiving
get
meal. Yeah.
And now with the kitchen, we have more sides coming up. So that is live. Go ahead and pre-order. We usually
It's already
sell
time
out.
for that.
I know.
Do you do turducken?
No turducken.
No turducken.
Turkeys, and then a lot of beef options, tenderloin, prime ribs. Anything you think of. We do crown roast for your pork.
Is this your first year doing Thanksgiving bundles?
Yeah, it's going to be strange. I'm already thinking about it. I'm like, man, I can't. I usually deliver on a Thursday.
Do you deliver the Thanksgiving bundles? Sorry, my mouth is full of burrito.
That's okay. We don't. We were talking about it today. Of like, could we offer a delivery service to bring your Thanksgiving meal out to you?
Mhm.
And I think that's
That'd be
always
cool.
something. Yeah.
Mhm.
Some people can't get away, and we can bring your sides. But yeah, essentially, you can get all of your holiday. And I know it's really convenient if you have more than like one. You're doing
Your Thanksgiving like family hopping.
family hopping or whatever, and it's like you're responsible for one.
Mhm.
It's like, let us help you out. I mean, our smoked turkeys are fully cooked, so they just need to be heated. We have smoked hams.
So one of the things last year I spent the year with the Jaguars last year, but my wife and kids stayed in Baton Rouge, and we had just had my son's 1 year birthday was yesterday. So obviously we had like a month-old kid at Thanksgiving. And they drove to Jacksonville, and I was living in a little one-bedroom apartment, and we had practice that day. She had her hands full with the kids, and I don't remember who we got it from, but that kind of service there's families out there that just there's times I just can't get the dinner cooked for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That was so awesome because we ended up. I mean, it was enough for us for I guess the 4 of us because the other one wasn't eating at that time, but it was
Eat some turkey.
It was cool because like again, I think that service is great. Now, if you yourself personally are going to go deliver it, I think you'll get a lot of. Apparently, there's some women on the chat that would love to see you show up at their door with some food.
This is a great Friday. I don't care if it's a
In a
cat
tank
or
top.
whatever, but like, yeah.
Here to deliver your meat.
There you go. That's a big thing that's up and going this week. So check us out. Think of us for the holidays. We love being a part of. We keep growing every year.
Yeah.
Because people come and they realize just how helpful it is to have that stuff, but also how really good it is. I mean, it's.
What about some tailgate options for this weekend? What y'all got?
Homecoming too, Coach.
Yeah.
For Ole Miss?
Yeah.
They schedule Ole Miss for homecoming?
Yeah.
It's usually Florida. They don't run.
They didn't realize the lane train was coming in here full speed.
I thought that was a UAB game.
But that's what it used to be back in the day. You would just take
You'd take that power.
take that group of 5 team, kick the living shit out of them, and have a great
why
homecoming.
are we playing UAB week 10? You're like, homecoming. Yeah, I think that backfired with, what was that Alabama school that gave us a shellacking on homecoming?
Troy.
I think they said, let's just go ahead and not.
Schedule a real game and lose it instead of losing the game that you're supposed to win.
That's
Everybody's here.
It's like you got to pay them. You end up paying them $2 million to come play, and you're really paying them $2 million just to beat you on homecoming.
Back to your question this weekend. I'm going with. I was just there when I was picking up the Doritos. I saw some flank and cut beef ribs. So I would kind of go with the beef rib. I saw some plate ribs out there too. And it's Oktoberfest, which probably next week I'll do here, since I have a little bit more notice, beer brats.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, I think Jordy's out next Friday.
Yeah. Come on in.
So we did those in the bundles this month where beer brats kind of our specialty, and I always send a recipe with the email. And it was kind of nice. I got to do one from like back home from Minnesota, which I was just there 2 weeks ago. It was fantastic. Right. But it was... a little Dutch oven, kind of browning and kind of simmering your brats and sauerkraut and beer, and topping it with some raw onion and mustard.
Lloyd's not sure though.
I'll take a beer brat. I just need it to take a play.
Lloyd heard Dutch oven.
Yeah, my mind was wandering.
You're gonna fart on the beer brats and then cover them? Yeah.
No wonder I have pink eye.
Someone in the chat said the jalapeno cheese sausage from Iverstein's is so damn good.
You are right.
I've had that too.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's probably my favorite. So whoever made that comment,
Stephen
I think.
Miller.
Yeah, we are like spot on. That is, I think, the best
that's
sausage.
Good for tailgate too.
Yeah, bacon cheddar jalapeno is where it's at.
Bacon cheddar jalapeno.
Yeah.
Like
You brought some sausages one day to us.
We did,
like
yeah. That's why we're kind of thinking, we were like, well, let's do it again.
I like that though. I love sausage.
There's like a great.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's important.
We won't take that out of context.
Yeah, not here.
Let me in, why don't
It's
you?
like as I'm saying.
I'm back in high school.
I mean, we just got Dutch oven, man.
Dutch oven. Katie's taking me.
Give me that.
Actually, the one I just don't even eat them. I just shove it right down the gullet. Don't even have to take a bite.
So you're from Minnesota. So is that what the spiciness that's down here? Like people liking the spicy food? Was that new when like you come down here? Is that different? Is stuff cooked differently up there than it is here?
Yeah, I think everyone gets the laughs because it's like, oh, you're from the north, you don't put seasoning on anything. And it's like I can't argue with them because I know my mom listens every once in a while, so I got to be careful. But it's like my dad doesn't, so I know where they're coming from. Like my dad would make potatoes with nothing, just a little melted butter, and then throw the potatoes in and brown them.
There, I cooked.
Cook for you.
Yeah, so I get some.
You said you were hungry, right?
Yeah, I get some of it, but he's also like a very old school outdoorsman, which is just when you go camping and you kind of do that stuff. Like I went to the Boundary Waters 2 years ago, and I packed a little thing of Tony's, just because it's like a season, it can go on anything, right?
Right.
Fish, potatoes, oatmeal, whatever. Well, that last one I can't.
Oatmeal.
Although I worked with the guy who said he put it on Cheerios.
I was about to say,
Okay, that's weird.
No, well, the people that you're talking to here I would not be surprised if they threw little Tony's, put that shit on everything.
So he was just surprised, like, well, you'd waste space in your backpack to put some sort of
That's not wasted space.
Yeah, it's very good.
Did you grow up on cheese curds? Or is that just Wisconsin?
Yeah,
That's
cheese
one of my favorite
curds.
things of
Beer
life
brats are
is cheese
brats are our favorite. Kind of especially right now, it's like our go-to. So if you're just kind of wondering like the difference between bratwurst and like sausage, because I can already smell that question.
Is your question coming? And hot dogs?
So if you Google bratwurst, what do you find?
I find
brat means sauce or
what's German?
Wurst means sausage and brat means link or something like that. It's just a link sausage. Bratwurst is just German for link sausage.
Oh, okay.
But what you really find the difference is bratwursts are going to be with more of like a less spicy. So we're thinking of smoked sausage with salts and paprikas and stuff like that. And this one's going to be more of like your marjorams and your herbs, if you will.
Okay.
So it's going to be more mild, but really jam-packed with flavor.
Are you Dutch oven bratwurst or bratwurst on the grill?
I just do that down here. So how we would do
the
it
only Dutch oven down here.
He's starting to weird
He's
me
been holding
out.
that one in the back pocket the whole time.
No, I'm serious. I'm looking at Google image bratwurst. I know what they are, but there's certainly different styles to cook them. I've always done them on the grill. I've never put them
so
in the
how
oven.
how I did the recipe and like my favorite ways, I just put the Dutch oven because I know a lot of people like that here. And I started cooking with one as a wedding gift, and it is really cool because you can kind of brown and get your cast iron stuff, and then whilst simmering and cooking for long periods of time. So I like actually boiling my bratwursts in beer for about 30 minutes on the stove.
Nice.
A light beer. I do not recommend a fancy Pilsner or sour or whatever micro thing you're into. Just do it like
PBR?
Miller Lite, Bud Light, PBR. Rolling Rock, sure, okay, but just keep it nice and
Natty Light, baby.
I love Rolling Rock. Yeah, just keep it nice and simple. Boiling for about 30 to 40 minutes on the stove, and then pop them on your grill and just get that nice little char. Or
I'm trying that out now.
Yeah,
I never thought about boiling it in beer. Now I'm add beer to things, but boiling it in beer, I've never thought about.
Yeah,
that.
so our beer brats, the beer is added to them, and I try to get them to because I'm not used to it. Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit. It's like one can for 25 pounds, so really it doesn't.
You can still drive home.
Yeah, you can still drive after.
I've had 10 beer battered bratwurst.
But that's my favorite way to cook a bratwurst, and then like I said, top it. Sauerkraut's our thing, so top it with some. I usually cook the sauerkraut for people down here who like aren't used to it, because it kind of mellows out the
harshness.
I mean, if you like pickles, you like sauerkraut.
I like it.
Yeah,
You
but
like
that's
pickles?
great.
Mm-hmm.
You like pickles and sausage, huh?
All phallic foods.
All right.
Yeah, it's that catches their eye every time.
Popsicles.
Y'all are wrong.
Well,
that is, yeah.
So segueing into this real quick. So while you're having all this tailgate food and these beer soaked brats and stuff, what's your prediction for Saturday?
That's what I was just about to ask.
Nice.
Let's
Me?
do it.
So I was on the road. I know I'm gonna get there. Trust me. I was on the road for that Tennessee game, and I was like, oh, thank God, because I could just tune Sirius XM off, right? I was like, this is great. I didn't spend any money on the game. I didn't buy any fancy food. I don't have people over. I'm not just sitting there mad. It was like, cool. 90s on 9 it is, you know? Switch the game. It was really good. And since I have been gone for a couple weeks, I'm going to give me a little hot take on that game. If anyone thought that we were going to beat Tennessee, probably should have checked yourself. Because I don't think there's
anybody in the country.
Yeah, there was no way we were beating Tennessee. So that butt whooping, okay, whatever. Take all the mistakes, all the coaching stuff, we still weren't going to win that game.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Tennessee, I mean, analysts and people are calling them the 2019 LSU Tigers. Now, I don't think they're going to have that record, like those records.
No.
But Tennessee is a dang good football team.
Yeah, 2019 LSU beats that team by 4 touchdowns.
But that'll change too when they run into a team like Georgia that can on offense can hold the ball away from them too. So
I mean, on defense, we're you know, I think people were upset like, I can't believe Ole Miss is a 2:30 game. Tennessee and Georgia deserves to be prime time.
Yeah.
Evening time SEC, because that is going to be the game to watch.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I think Ole Miss beats us by 13.
No.
That's a lot of points.
That is a lot of points.
So over here with our local Ole Miss lover here.
I was thinking more like it's going to be close for sure. I think it's going to be a nail biter. I was thinking more like 37-34 LSU.
It could. I
actually don't hate that.
That's actually probably the points that are going to be put up in this game.
I said 37-34 LSU.
Oh, I like it.
Because I was thinking, I mean, I knew there would be points.
It makes me nervous just
I was
talking
more or
about
less
it,
thinking like, you know.
Yeah. What's the over/under on this thing? Because this has got to be high.
68.
68. Mm-hmm. That's about right.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That
of
would be a
points.
tricky. That's a trick.
I think a lot of people wouldn't think it would be that high because we just featured both. Well, we featured LSU's offense earlier in the week against Florida, and you see Ole Miss's offense. The things that they do well are both there. Seems like when people associate offense. They don't think of running the ball, but what both teams have done well is run the ball, but they've been able to do it so efficiently.
Yeah.
It's almost like a big play. Whenever the way that especially on Ole Miss's end, the way that they set it up and dial it up, he's not trying to get 5 or 10. He's trying to hit you for 60. So it's like, it's still, just because he's not throwing it doesn't mean it can't be a big play on the ground.
And the other thing, too, that as similar as those offenses have looked in the last couple of weeks, you got to think when they're practicing, it's not like you're having to create a scout team necessarily to create their offense. You can practice during the week really against your own guys and get the same type. Now, there's going to be some things you're going to need the guys to key in on, but the tempo, the type of plays, you can work those and actually get work on those on your own offense during the week.
When LSU tries to do like an Ole Miss scout team, or they see some of the plays that they're doing offensively, do you ever put some of those in your back pocket? It's like, oh, we can do some of the same stuff.
No doubt. And so we did that in the NFL too. Like all of a sudden you're over there helping the scout teamers run these cards, and between because in NFL it's like you go offense and then the defense will go for 5 plays. Offense go you have scout teams flipping in and out. And you're like, what was that play? You're like, and so at the end of practice, you're like, give me that card, man.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you go look it up, and they're like, man, so we can put that in. But the other thing too, when I was at Ole Miss, we played Auburn, and Auburn had that just really, really fast Tennessee pace offense. We had one line. We had 5 guys on the scout team on the offensive line, but we had 2 full skill groups going. So like when one group was running a play, the line never left. The line would run the play. The second group was already getting the card shown. So the second that ball was thrown or run, the next group was on the line, and then somebody ran in front of the line with the card. So we and it was just like boom, boom, boom. That stuff's you cannot simulate that.
Right.
That's where like a Tennessee defense, if they ever run into a team that runs like Tennessee, has that tempo, you just say, hey, y'all just run y'all stuff this week, and we got to get set. And it helps. But like if you're a team that huddles up every time, and then it's even hard to run the scout team because half those dudes aren't used to going that fast.
No, it's almost a waste of a Monday and a Tuesday just to try to get formulate what the game plan would look like. These guys have never done this before, so now practice becomes almost like a teaching session, like from the bottom up.
We had I'm not kidding you, I think one practice we ran 120 plays versus the scout offense because we were trying to go so fast. But I think we got beat. Yeah, we got beat that year when I was at Ole Miss. We were at Auburn, and all I remember from that game is I was in the booth. I don't know why I blocked this out of my memory, maybe it's because we lost, but we had to walk through the lower bowl to get up to like the mezzanine level to go to the elevator to go up. So before the game and at halftime and at the end of the game, we had to walk through the Auburn, basically the Auburn student section or whatever. It was like, you talk about, we had police officers, but we had stuff like bottles were thrown at us. It was crazy. And we're just the Ole Miss coaches. Think about when Alabama coaches walk up that.
Yeah.
So what's your prediction, Coach?
If it's a cleanly played game, and I mean that special teams, I mean that from just in general, just if LSU can play a clean game, they'll keep it close. I have a hard time saying LSU is going to win the game outright, but I'm not going to say that they're going to just be out of it. Now, they can get out of it real fast if something happens, like if I'll knock on wood for everybody here, not if you muff a punt or if you muff a punt or whatever, you
give
do something,
big kick return,
or you have another one of those big runs like the dude had, Richardson had,
yeah.
and they didn't tackle. If something like that were to happen, a big play turns it, and I think it would be like that Saints game last night. It's like when that one play happened, it's kind of over at that point, you know. But I think if they can play it clean, it'll be one of those games that goes down to the fourth quarter, and I think Ole Miss probably has more firepower right now. And they're going pretty good. So, Katie, I'm going to say probably Ole Miss at this point. But
and if
this is not a Tennessee feel to it. I don't feel like Tennessee when Tennessee came.
Okay, I'm kind of because that's kind of where I'm. I think Ole Miss is a really good football team.
They are.
I don't think they are.
Yeah. Well,
they've not played anybody.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Okay.
They look better because of the competition they play.
Well, then if you think about that, who have we played?
Okay,
you know what I mean?
But again,
you can sit here and say this, but
Florida State,
LSU, Mississippi State, Auburn, Florida,
New Mexico,
probably Arkansas, probably A&M. How different are we all? We're all going to end up with
Troy, Georgia Tech. Vanderbilt. Who were the other ones they played? A couple other no names. Like Ole Miss's schedule has been very easy.
What was it? What was the final score of that Auburn game with Ole Miss? It was like 41-34 or something.
Yeah, it was something like that.
The thing about that to me is what this weekend's. It's going to be something like that this weekend because it's like the over/under 68. But
yeah,
I think it's going to be something where there's going to be some points scored in this game, and you can't fault like Matt House. Everybody's like Matt House. He's going to give up. Versus that team, it's going to happen,
Yeah.
and you just got to deal with it. And as the offense, one of the things the LSU offense got to do is keep them off the field too. They can't be having 3 and outs. They got to keep the ball rolling. And it'd be nice to just if Ole Miss scores, then boom, you hit a long pass and you hit them right back. It's great, but sometimes with teams like this, have a 10-play drive every once in a while. Keep them dudes off the field.
You need to, and you look at it outside of the Florida game, which is really great. I know y'all spent a lot of time talking about that, right? Because a complete 360 offensively from what has been like all year, but it's been one game, Yeah.
Right.
Not to say that we didn't have great and we didn't fight and come back against Mississippi State and Auburn, and have that like great second half offense. I mean, I think that's conditioning and all that sort of stuff. But to be able to run with that kind of offense like Ole Miss, I mean, we only saw it in Florida. Can they do it?
And I think that goes, but it goes to your point of it's one game, and we'll believe it if it happens again.
Right.
And then at that point, then you still skeptical, and it's one of the good thing is you did see it last week, and it's like that Bengals game with the Saints with Burrow and them. So I cover some Cincinnati stuff, and that's their whole thing is saying, when is this Bengals offense going to show up? And they did now, but everybody's still skeptical about them, and you're like,
yeah,
well, give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to do it again this week. If they don't, if LSU comes out and doesn't and looks like they did, against some of these other teams, then sure, maybe it was a flash in the pan. But again, try it. Try to have some faith that it's going to happen. LSU fans, put a smile on your face every once in a while around here in Baton Rouge.
That's so true. We're so
Which,
cynical.
by the way, you know what the problem is right now? Everybody's listening to damn Taylor Swift. Did y'all listen to that crap already?
Dropped at midnight.
Yeah. All right, let me tell you something. Whoever Taylor Swift's next boyfriend is, treat her right so that we can get some happy music. This stuff is so gloomy, and she's like cussing her head off on this album. I mean, she's like mad.
Has anybody considered that it might be her fault? Like, if she's gone through all these relationships.
Because I'm a big T Swift fan.
You're a Swiftie.
I'm a Swiftie.
Well, I mean, I just proved I listened to it already. So I listened to it on the way in.
My wife got the vinyl for me, the lavender color one.
Nice.
So I'm very happy. Can we, going back before we get sidetracked? I don't want to fall into this guy's trap. Can we take the offense from the Florida game and pair it with the defense from the Mississippi State game?
Yeah.
There you go.
And we would.
I think that
would be lights out. I mean, that would be 2019 LSU.
There have been changes every week. I mean, haven't y'all noticed the evolution? Jaden Daniels is evolving. Like, everything's getting better and better. So
that's
have
good.
some faith.
It should. I mean,
some
I
faith.
think that's what I looked at it when we were sitting here, before the season started, or even after week 1. It says Jaden is going to. I still am a big fan of JD, and I think he's been doing a great job. He's got 1 pick on the year.
10 touchdowns, 1 interception.
1 interception. The guy, if it wasn't, especially in those early games of Mississippi State, if he didn't run and be able to, because we were on our 7th offensive line combination last game.
6. It was
6. Okay, so he's been able to keep plays alive and make plays downfield. He's made some tremendous throws. I thought that one tied the game at Florida State. We talked about it. I mean, they missed the PAT, but that throw.
Back of the
end zone, amazing over people. I mean, that's like Dwight Clark.
That's the throw Andy tried to make last night.
Didn't quite get it there.
You can't quite get it there because you got to get it over without overshooting it. But if you don't, it's an easy interception. So it's like, I mean, the guy just plays and he does get better. And I know everyone talks about his lack of being able to push the ball downfield, but I think that's going to come. You can't ask Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray and these guys to all of a sudden change their instincts in their game. I think Baltimore has seen it. It's starting to happen right with Bateman and getting into some weapons. But Lamar Jackson didn't just stop playing Lamar Jackson football.
That's what makes him great.
Murray,
right.
That's what makes him great too. Or be like all of a sudden taking Joey B and saying, hey, you have amazing instincts downfield and you can read it, but we want to start bootlegging you now and start play out. all of a sudden you're taking the strength of the guy's game. So let JD have his strength and play football and make plays.
Yes.
And then allow him to grow into what we need him to be. Like, hey, keep looking at, hey, the guys are open. The guys are open. And just let him keep finding it. Because if he can find it on his own, if he can find it while being the player that he is, it's gonna be lights out.
He did that in this last game.
Yeah.
That one throw to Kayshawn early in the
6 touchdowns.
game. And because he was, you've seen him so many times stand back in the pocket and then just take off running. This time he was in the pocket. He slid over to the side a little bit, started to run, and then was like, oh shoot, he's open.
Yeah, there's nobody within 15 yards of him.
I'm going to take it, and I thought that was good. And then there's a couple others, if you really go dig into it, where he still ran the ball, and that's okay. Like you're saying, if you get 1 or 2 of those a game that he wasn't getting, then that's 1 or 2 more than you were getting, and it's good. So
I mean,
so are you going to put your prediction out there or no?
I just told you. I don't
You
know.
just said
Do I have to
LSU's
put a
gonna
score?
lose. Yeah,
I have to put a
that's the
score.
whole thing.
Okay. Ole Miss. I'm gonna go a weird score because they're gonna get a safety at some point. No, I don't know. 36 to 31.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
That's
All right,
that's
Stewie,
that's a
what are
pretty
you?
good one.
You got one?
I gave mine last night.
What is
I
it?
think it was like 41.
38.
Yeah, like 41.
LSU or Ole Miss?
LSU. Duh.
Listen,
What about you, Lloyd? You haven't done yours.
Go to hell, Ole Miss.
Wow, that's aggressive.
42. I don't see LSU relying on special teams a lot. They've dragged him out. I think he's only kicked 6 field goals. So I don't see them wanting to do that. And if they're playing Ole Miss, they're probably going to try to go for it a couple of times, like you saw against Tennessee, to go score for score. So I'm going to say 6 touchdowns, 7-6, 42.
Wow, look at Lloyd with the math.
42-35. Well, she wins. That might be. I think it's probably gonna be closer.
I
but
like you, man.
All right,
I'm gonna
so
keep
we
it
got
all.
3
Everybody's going
LSU
for touchdowns.
wins, 2.
Yeah.
You were losing.
I thought
right?
it would be more of like 13 points. I mean, I see your argument. It could be. I think.
Did you go to LSU?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you?
I did not. See,
We
that's
didn't
what I'm
even
saying.
have-
I'm the
You went to
outsider
A&M.
in here.
Well, I
so
didn't
I-
You went to
either. I'm picking
A&M?
LSU.
Yeah.
We had
But
this
you
thing-
also went to Mississippi State, so you're
Yeah.
not picking Ole Miss.
But
I
I'm
get
really, my gut is starting to work here, and I'm really.
That's like if
feeling
Rita.
LSU.
LSU
When
was
she
playing.
gets her gut feeling.
When I get
If
my
LSU
gut
was playing
feeling.
Texas right now, I can promise you LSU would win that game because I am not ever telling you Texas is going to win.
Welcome.
Well, I think it's just, I think we're coming off of this Florida game, and I think if we were having this conversation last week, it'd be like a lot. Well, I don't know, guys. Yeah, I think people would be with me.
Yeah.
I like what you said. That's kind of where I'm going. I'm very skeptical about the Ole Miss coming in because if one thing goes wrong, this team has had a problem of getting
Compounding
his feet back.
errors.
Yeah.
Ole Miss also struggled against Auburn last week. Struggled.
They
Like,
did, and against
Tennessee
Kentucky, too.
struggled against Alabama.
No, that was
different, though.
no, that was a different
Auburn
game.
sucks.
No, they struggled against
Okay.
Auburn last week.
They got out to. That's the other thing you have to look out for if you're are gambling. You maybe put a little shekel on Ole Miss first quarter or first half, just because of the way that I think Lane gets started. Whether it be his first 15 or just first drive, it feels like he always has a plan where he's using it to build off for something later in the game, or he's just coming out to punch you in the mouth. Lane's always like tinkering, and I think that's the most fascinating thing about him is you see him and you don't think, oh, this guy's like a mastermind, like he's working hard. Like, no, that guy's steadily scheming you up, and like he takes his job seriously, even though he has a personality. So for him, it's an opportunity on a national stage wherever he had what probably in his mind, like, I could take that LSU job and I could win there. Like, it's a chance for him to fire a shot across the bow at LSU because if you remember whenever LSU was looking for the coaching search, he was tweeting out like the tiger emoji and he was playing the game the entire time. And LSU fans were like, I mean, I could see Lane here. That
Jordy
would like,
was on the Lane
yeah,
train.
absolutely.
Oh, I'm so glad we didn't.
And so,
God,
like,
I'm
it's a
so
chance for him
glad.
to kind of validate himself against Brian Kelly.
I don't know if I could work.
I
here
mean, I'm
anymore.
not going to say that we won't get out coached on Saturday because I could see that happening, but I was not a big.
So I worked with Jay Gruden for a few years in Cincinnati, and Lane Kiffin reminds me the personality wise of a guy like Jay Gruden and even John Gruden. Jay was a little bit more loosey goosey than John, but like when Jay would always tell me, he goes, I don't, like Coach Dameron said earlier, I don't need the call sheet. I wrote the call sheet, and it's like I think that's how Lane is. I think Lane during the week, it's not that he sits there and has to just write it all down and draw. he knows he'll watch the film and go, yeah, we're running this play. We're running this play. You know what? I'm running this play first play of the game. I don't care what y'all say. That's what I'm doing. And he just has a feel for it. And I bet you anything, if you went out there and took his call sheet, well, he throws it in the air half the time anyway.
Right.
But
Souvenir.
If you took his call sheet from him, he could probably still recite to you whatever he had on the openers, those first 15 or whatever. Yeah. I guarantee you within 2, he could tell you exactly where they were down the list. And what order they were in, because again, he's one of those guys. I think that I wrote it, I know it, it's my offense, and I mean,
to hell, I don't need the play sheet. I wrote the book.
And then if it ain't working, then I'm gonna open up that other spot in my brain that has all these other plays in it, and we'll go that way. And I think he doesn't get flustered by it.
Yeah,
that's the big thing, because he always has that smirk on his face. He kind of always has that he's laid back smirk to him, and I think that's why.
If something that you don't, then it's because he's prepared.
Yeah.
So it could. Well,
it's cute.
I hope it's a good game. I know I said it the last time I was here, but Ole Miss and
hope
LSU.
everybody has fun.
What's that?
You just hope everyone has fun.
I do. Yeah. No, I like LSU. Ole Miss has been one of my favorite games.
Absolutely.
Since I've been down here.
Are you that guy that wears just the NFL shield hat to the NFL game? Rob Lowe, yeah.
No, I wear LSU. I hope we win. I'm very much rooting for them. I'm very much rooting for a win. I want them to win with all my being. I'm looking at things of more of like, if I'm more realistic about this, how I treat football, right? And it's just I'm a diehard 49er fan, so I have a lot of bad years.
Christian McCaffrey.
I know. We just got him. Wow. And so it's like I just built myself of like, if I don't put my expectations and think Super Bowl or bust every year or national championship,
your quality of life goes up.
Exactly. It was like I said, I was able to just like tune out that Tennessee game or
it's a hard way. It's a hard way to do that, though.
It's hard, but I can't tell you it was like a few weeks ago when Jimmy G got back into the game and played Denver, and it was like he ran out the back of the end zone, and lost the game for us.
I can't care about that.
And it was like, yep, click, bed. It's just, I love getting excited. I love that whole thing, but I think if I start looking at things more of like, well, there's a pretty decent shot that we lose this game. Now I can go in there and cheer and get loud and scream, and then it's even sweeter when you win because you go, oh man, I wasn't fully expecting it. Like Southern, no disrespect, or New Mexico, like yeah, that's expected. I would be upset if we lost those games because of everything. But I really like it because I didn't even know that when I first got down here. You're like all the hoopla is about Alabama and LSU. Mm-hmm. I didn't find out that it really is only because of Saban. That the history, like the history of the two teams playing each other, Ole Miss and LSU, go far back. I mean, like
they've been fighting over their reading retention rates for years. who's last, who's 50th and 49th.
Yeah. Well,
I think Mississippi's 50th now, right? In reading retention.
I mean, I don't know. It always goes back.
Where are you from? That's a very northern joke.
I'm from Texas, so I can talk because I'm shooting across the bow over here. So.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's something like I would make a joke about to my friends,
Well,
but
Katie, we miss any sponsors today? Because I'm not in on
that. We've covered everybody so far today. We've run everybody on our break. So thank you, Josh from Irish Theme, for coming.
Yeah, holiday meets are out. Yeah,
holiday meets.
Go to hell, Miss.
Let me ask you this, because I may actually take advantage of this.
Good.
If I were to order it, how do I do it? Online?
It is all online. It's easy. So you just have a small deposit to pay for your meat. That's just to reserve it because we do only get so many in, and we usually come close to selling out. Especially if you're looking for like a smaller bird, like reserve that, because we end up, last year I think we only had like 5 or 6 birds left over, but they were all like the 25, 30-pound birds, like the largest of the large. So if you're just like a few people, and we also only get we do just get breast sections in. Turkey breast sections in, so if it's like a small, 2 people, but you still kind of want that, all that stuff's online. And the sides, like I said, are already pre-made. Everything will just need to be thrown in the oven.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well,
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for being our co-host.
I'll tell you what.
Caskey, yes, thank you so much. The man of the hour to come in and save the show. Give Jordy a Friday
again, I'm
off.
Jordy Culotta.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody coming in to the Jordy Culotta show this morning. I know I look different. I had a rough night last night, so
Midnights came out. We had to stay
up.
up
I stayed up all night listening to Taylor Swift. And
I bet you did.
but Josh, thank you for being here. I want to thank Kim Dameron for coming on, and obviously thank y'all for having me in here. Again, I can do my best to impersonate over here, keep the seat warm.
That's all you need to do.
That's all I can do. I'm good for that. So
they'd much rather see you than see me. I can assure you of that.
Oh,
that's true.
With that, we'll see y'all on Monday. Jordy will be back, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, go to hell, Ole Miss.
Go to hell, Ole Miss.
Go to hell, Ole Miss.
Kick 'em out.
Oh man, go Tigers! Get that out of here.